Welcome to Real Estate Done Right-ish, your favorite podcast for realtors by realtors. I'm Jen.
And I'm Annalie. And for a combined 30 years, we've been working in this industry just trying to figure it out. And by figuring it out,
we mean our December consists of avoiding dating disasters, creating elaborate color-coded business systems we may or may not execute, and wondering if hygiene maintenance counts as self-care when you literally have to calendar block it in.
I was sorry, hygiene maintenance?
We're just going to call them hair jobs.
Today, I told Jen that I was getting my hair done after we were recording, and she replied something about a hair job, and I was like, what is that? I didn't like it, but then I simultaneously kind of loved it.
I was like, and by hair job, I mean appointment. Hair appointment.
Hair appointment. And yes, I did share with you that I always go
Oh my gosh.
like a month longer than I should to get my hair job done.
Yeah.
And
can we forever call it hair job?
For sure. And so it's literally on my yearly plan, which months I should be going in to get my hair done, because otherwise I wait way too long. And then my hair person, if you're listening, love you, Carrie, but she's just independent. She has her own little studio. It's just her. And she goes up to the cabin for a month in the summer sometimes, or
You
she
really have to
travels.
plan around.
So sometimes I go to schedule something and then I'm like, oh shoot, she's not available for 4 weeks.
Oh no.
And then so I have to plan ahead.
Really be on it. So quarterly goals this year include hair jobs.
It's making sure I'm getting my hair trimmed so that it doesn't look like it's crazy person's hair.
Yeah.
Because that's no good.
You're
Nobody
doing
wants that.
it. So today you have an appointment after this, after we record. Can't wait.
Me either. Are you coming with me?
I can.
Come have a glass of wine.
Cheer you
Sometimes
on
we
the
have a glass of
wine.
wine
Well,
while we're
it's fun.
sitting there. It's fun.
It's so fun.
Okay. Hi.
Like, follow, review, share with your friends.
Love us.
Hit the follow button. If you've never done that, it's not that complicated. But I had never done that until I listened to many podcasts. And one person was like, this is how you give a 5-star review.
Oh, yeah.
This is how you go in and do. And now I don't have it in front of me to tell people how, but you can figure it out.
Google
By
it.
figuring it out, we
mean Google it.
Google it. Yeah.
Or
Okay.
ask AI. They know everything.
Lovely. Okay, so today we are going to talk about how to get more business for your business.
Yeah.
Right?
Or how to get more business intentionally, or I would call it, we call it kind of like finding the gap.
Oh, yeah.
And we'll talk a little bit more about that.
Okay. So in terms of how we want to go about this today, Annalie, well, why don't you start? Because your team is going through this process right now with establishing, okay, I'm just going to put this out there. We always talk about lead generation.
Yeah.
How do really what this means is, how do I generate more leads? Seems obvious. How do I generate more revenue? How do I generate more business? How do I get this thing moving in my business right now to bring business in one way or another, whether I'm hunting or I'm magnetizing, which we call lead generation and marketing, or prospecting and marketing.
Yep.
So today, rather than say lead gen 101, which
Yeah.
nobody wants to hear about,
No.
we're going to talk about some of the creative ways. Like, I just, after our last episode, was very motivated to go back and count up all my appointments and what I'd done and where the bit of business that I had this year came from. And then I put together a very detailed, I think, business plan.
That is.
It's really fun, isn't it? Kind of cute.
It is.
It's aesthetically pleasing. And it was fun to sit down. Like, I used ChatGPT and Claude and sat down and figured out, like, what are the ways that I want to build a business that makes me feel excited?
Yeah.
And so that's really what we're talking about today. We should have started with that. Gosh, it took me a minute to get there, but we got there.
Yeah. Well, I'll start on our team. So we have an established business, right? We've all been in the business for over 5 years, everyone on the team. And we've had years where our activities look completely different based on the market, or based on, honestly, motivation. How hungry are you that year? And so each year, what we do is everybody comes up with their number based on the economic model we talked about last week. So if you don't know your number of homes that you're wanting to sell, go back and listen to that and then come back to this one. But we take that number. We also then we break it down and we look at, okay, last year, where did your business come from? So we just start with that. Where did every single transaction that you did come from? So last year, let's say you did 20 transactions, you want to do 30 this year. There's a gap there, right? So we break down what came from what. So let's say 10 of them came from the database, 4 came from open houses, right? We break that all down. And then we can kind of expect maybe a little growth organically. But I'm saying like one transaction, right? If all things were identical, if you did 10 transactions out of your database last year, maybe your database has a few more people in it this year. And when I say database, I'm talking past clients' sphere of influence, not necessarily leads that are
SOI,
sitting.
sphere of influence,
I mean, we have leads we're still working as well, but we don't count those as database coming, those count as whatever source they came from originally. Does that make sense?
Yep.
So database, for instance, if we did everything the same as we did last year, if you did 10 from that last year, you might be able to eke 12 out of it this year because it grew a little bit. You might have really excited people that just closed this year that happen to be attractors or talkers and they want to refer you to everybody, right? And then you might be able to eke a little bit more out of it. But if we kind of look at just those numbers, right? So if we got 10 last year, let's use that for an example. We can maybe plan for 12 this year. And we do that for each one. So if it was open houses, if you held like 50 open houses and you did 2 pieces of business, our open houses have not been super fruitful the last year. A lot of people that are coming in are already under contract with an agent. And I think that was a shift in dynamic of the changes in the broker
NAR,
the NAR settlement changes. And so those were not giving us as much this year. So don't use 3 years ago numbers where we were getting a lot of business out of open houses. Make sure you're using now numbers. And then if you want or you need or you decide that you're going to get 10 pieces of business and you only had 2 last year, then that's where we call it bridging the gap. How are you going to make those 8 transactions up? So are you going to do more open houses? So increase the activity, or are you going to increase your skills? So do we need to be doing more signage? Do we need to be doing more advertising? Is it get more people in, or is it what you're saying, what you're doing in the actual open house? It's probably a combination of all of those things, right? So then we start to make our plan surrounding skill set, number of activities based on all of that.
Yep.
Does that all make sense?
Yes.
So then we also look at, is there anything that wasn't working this past year? And do you still want to put your energy into that? Is that activity just draining you and not giving you any return on your investment of time and energy? Or do you still love it, even though it's not giving you that return right now? What are you liking about the business? What's giving you energy back? What's exciting you? And what's really not? And is there anything we need to remove from our plan? And so it's really kind of consistently looking at, what have we been doing? What's working? What's not? What's feeding you? What's not? Both energetically and monetarily. And then making the tweaks and the plan surrounding all of that. It starts to get pretty simple when you do that, because you can say, okay, well, all things considered, now major market crashes, major life changes, right? Those things might completely blow this up, but all things this relatively similar year to year, you should be able to say, well, I should be able to do at least what I did this year, and then really make a plan of how to do more if you want to do more.
Yeah, and that's so good. I wonder how many people have plans. Like, I think that a lot of realtors that have been in the industry for a really long time don't have plans, and a lot of people also don't have a database that they're nurturing regularly. They're not really working on cultivating relationships. So they just post often enough on social media. They organically see people often enough where their business kind of yields the same amount every year-ish, depending, and then might wax and wane a little bit depending on what's happening in the real estate market. So even if the plan is really simple, like what you're saying, a focused plan with focused goals can make a huge difference. And it also, there's a lot of things that are coming to mind as you're saying it, because I've put a plan together before and then executed it half-ass or not, or lost steam halfway along the way, or changed directions. And sometimes the direction change can be good and sometimes not so good. And so I think that just starting with, like, what's the plan?
Yeah.
Like, what is your plan and how do you figure out the plan? So before we hit record, I was just saying, like, if I'm listening to this episode, what do I want to take away from this? Maybe there's some ideas that we share that people will be like, that's a great idea. I hadn't thought of that. What I also want you guys who are listening to hopefully take away is this: how do you uncover, we have other episodes we talk about this, but how do you uncover the kinds of things that you want to do in your business that you already said that like you enjoy, that bring you joy? And part of that, I think we talked about in the last episode, like finding your values and like asking yourself, what experiences have been highlights in my life and why have they been a highlight?
Yeah. I think also just what are you already doing that you're passionate about and that you could be promoting your business more. So I'm going to use my sister as an example. She's been working with a dog rescue for years and she is very involved, and she was not promoting herself to that group of people at all.
Yeah.
In any way, shape, or form.
Yeah.
And it's hundreds of people. And she was interacting with them daily because she was a foster coordinator. So she's like placing dogs and talking to people nonstop. And it was kind of a moment of like, oh, wait, these are my people, you know, they already know me, like me, trust me. We're all in the same mission together. And why wouldn't I figure out a way? And so she just talked to the head of the rescue and said, I want to be able to get in front of these people with my business. What makes sense? And so we started sponsoring adoption events. So we had a table there. We would do signups and giveaways. And a lot of the people that she's meeting are not the people that are coming to the adoption events. They're the other fosters and the other people in the organization, but they're getting to realize, oh, this is what you actually do for a living. And
if they go into the database and then you have a system of like, we email once a month and we send these things quarterly and we do whatever, then it's about how do I capture contact information to get more people into the database? And then what is my system to build relationship with them?
Yeah. But like, to go back to feeding excitement, like what are you already doing? Are you playing an intramural sport?
Yeah.
Is it called intramural when it's out of college? I feel like it's probably not.
It's called old people. Old people sporting. Tear your ACL sports.
But, Jen can't do sporting anymore.
No, I just lift
She
weights.
tears stuff all the time.
It's a regular occurrence around
really
here.
Is. Like every time you've tried to do a sport, you've instantly torn something.
I know. Yeah, for sure.
Which is why I don't sport.
I know.
I do a little sporting. But what are you already doing? Where are your people already? And how can you lean into that? Or if you're not doing things, but you've been curious about taking a lesson or doing a craft or, you know, like, where can you go and find that community that would just be more organic, that you would love anyway?
Yeah.
And it doesn't, the business may or may not come.
Yeah.
But like leaning into those kinds of, it's kind of just like living a bigger, louder life almost. Yeah. In a way.
Yeah.
And I've heard a lot of people at like our big national conventions that have built huge businesses literally off of one of those things because they just lean in super hard.
Yeah, I was just going to say, you got to go all, to me, one of the things that keeps coming up in my mind is like, how much time do you have? So for me, now that I have a few transactions under my belt and this big one pending and whatever else, I feel like I have a little bit more of a runway to be like, okay, now I can really nurture relationships. And versus 9 months ago when I was like, I need business right now, you know? And I think there's still a piece of that. I didn't put FSBOs on here, but it's still floating around in my mind. Just
on your business plan.
Yeah, on my business plan. I didn't include calling for sale by owners because how many now I don't have that particular number in front of me, but I went on a total of 29 listing appointments. And I think this last year, and a good chunk of them were for sale by owners. And I signed 4. I took 4 listings. I canceled 2 of them. They were overpriced. 1 is still way overpriced, sitting on the market, and 1 closed. So when you look at, again, it's how much time and effort did I put into it? And it turned into a closing, which is great. And was it worth it? Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, if you look at your hourly wage, you're probably still fine.
Totally. So I'm still kicking that around because I'm like, if I'm doing these more nurturing type business plan things and I'm not, because of the market right now and low inventory and less people moving, my database, my sphere of influence just might not produce what I need. So then how do I go outside of that to add more people to my database, and FSBO's an easier one. How fruitful it'll be, I don't know. It just might be a lot of effort of pouring in on that.
Yeah,
so I have kind of two buckets in my mind.
If you went on, let's say 20 of your 29 for easy math were for sale by owners, and that turned into one closing.
Yeah.
That's easy math to say, well, all right, what if I go on 120 this year?
Yeah.
And
a lot of them were online. Like, it's actually doable.
Yeah. And you just turn and burn. I mean, 120 is only 2 a week.
Yeah. No, it's not.
Yeah, it's not that many.
No.
So what if I just said, okay, part of my plan is, and again, I think this is the dance also of we start with our database because our database is big and established, and we've got the plan. We do the same things every year. We switch based on, again, market and how they're reacting. So if we kind of start with that, then it's when we need to pull the lever.
Yeah.
When that is not providing everything we need, what are the things that we do to pull the lever? And I would say open houses is probably not part of the pull the lever because you can't really control. You can push, you can push harder or pull back and do a different type of open house, but you can't guarantee what's going to happen. Right. You can guarantee that you're going to talk to 10 for sale by owners in a day if that's your goal, right? Most of the time, or 10 expireds or whatever it is. So making sure that you have some of that pull the lever, get an appointment.
What can I go do right now that if I do
an appointment
enough
this week,
I could get on the phone all day and I can set an appointment. Yeah, for sure.
And it goes back to, I think in a really early episode, I talked about when I teach, I talk about I'm going to talk about kidnapping your children again.
Okay.
If I kidnapped your kids, could you go get a listing appointment today?
Yeah.
1,000%. Right? To get your kids back.
Yeah.
So what is that thing that you're going to go and
now?
do?
Yeah.
If your goal is to set 3 appointments this week and you only have one, where are you going to go get those 2? And really getting a plan around that in place.
That's great. Okay. One thing I want to say, well, I want to say a lot of things. I have so much to say today.
Oh, no.
Just kidding. I don't really. But one thing that came up as you were talking about, I know, oh no.
I'll just sit back.
We are recording a podcast.
I will drink my tea.
Like,
I'll be over here.
Is to talk.
Oh, shoot. Okay. Go ahead.
One of the things that popped into my head as you were talking was this idea of maximizing the business that you have. And so this year, at year end, I will have closed 5 transactions, which does not feel like a lot to me. But so 1 was a FSBO, 4 were database or a referral. And that's cool. That's great. When I look at the way that those 4 heard about me, a lot of it was from me posting on social media, but they were also past clients that I had followed on social media. So I just made a mental note and I put it on my plan. I can't remember how many a week I need to do in here, but I'm going to go through my database and make sure I'm finding and following as many people as I can on social media.
I need to do that
because that's a whole touch system right now that I'm creating to be in front of people so that I'm the first one they think about. And I'm not, my whole database, I'm not following all of them. So that's the thing. And then I have a piece of business, and how can I turn that piece of business into a bunch of social media content? So what I'm doing right now when I get the testimonial is not just putting up the testimonial. I'm putting up the strategy that we used. Like this one client that I had was a renter or was an investor that was renting, and she was genuinely like, I might rent for another couple years. Can you help me run the numbers? Should I renovate the kitchen? So I really took that to highlight hey, this isn't just about slapping a price on a home. And so you can highlight your expertise, you get in front of people, you maximize the business by letting people know that you're doing stuff. You're not just holding open houses. And then is there more around that? Can you post in your stories when you're there staging? Can you just thinking about how do I maximize even if you have 1 client, what can I do to make it look like I have 10?
Yeah. Well, there was an agent that he's not in this market anymore.
Yeah.
But when he was starting on social media, I literally thought he was doing triple the business that I was doing.
Yeah.
Because he was posting a listing 17 times.
Yeah.
And you wouldn't even know it was the same listing because it didn't even always have the address. It was a random thing. And I looked up and he was doing he had 3 listings in that year.
Yeah.
And I was like, how do you look like you have 47 listings?
Yeah.
This is absurd.
Well,
but it was just creative use of Yeah.
Well,
and people thought he did way more business than he did.
Well, and I just saw something on Instagram that was like, it was talking about the power of marketing. And I think I said this to you in the car or something when we were driving, but this woman was like, hey, if you go to a fair and there's two of the same stands, they have the same thing to sell, and there's a line at one and there's no line at the other, which one? Are you going to wait in line at the line one, or going to go to the one that has no line? You're going to go to the one with a line because you're assuming there's something better about this one and this is in higher demand. And so we're not trying to trick people, but we are running businesses where you want to show that there's momentum and that people are choosing to work with you and that you have stuff going on and that you're working hard, and it creates magnetism and I think momentum. Then all of a sudden you're not closing 5 units a year, you're closing 15 or 20, and you've got a huge push that you can push behind it. The book 10X, the 10X rule is coming to mind right now. And he makes the point that if you're really going to grow, not everybody wants to grow their business, but if you really want to grow your business, you should be doing so much activity that people are annoyed. Like, until people are like, can you shut the F up?
Yeah.
Like, it's like, do 10 times more than you think you should be doing. And then people will remember you. They might be annoyed, but when they're looking for a realtor, they're going to be like, she's the only one I can think of.
Or when they hear somebody talking about needing one.
Yeah. So maximizing the business you have is huge. Okay. Do you want to share? Should we just like go back and forth, tit for tat, on what we're doing for our business next year? What our ideas are?
Sure. I mean, I didn't bring mine in front of me, but sure.
Okay. I'll start with one of mine. Give you a chance to think about yours. How's that?
Sounds good.
We'll see how this goes. Okay. So a simple one. One of the first things, like, I'm like, I like people and I like getting together with people one-on-one. And we have a mutual friend of ours. Her name is Robin. And I was remembering how she wasn't like setting listing appointments every week. She was setting coffee dates. And I was like, what are you doing? Well, it's all about building relationship. I have this gym crew that I hang out with, but we hang out in a huge group, but I haven't done like one-to-one, let's get together and have lunch. I'm not going to ask them for business. I'm going to learn about them and build relationships. So I'm setting a goal to have 2 coffee walks or lunches a week because I'm a relationship person. And then hopefully I also will have a way, like with some of the other things I'm doing, I'm going to do parties that aren't client events, that are just like, I'm throwing a party, you're invited, here's the RSVP, and I get their contact information. My business sponsors the party. And so people know, like, oh, she's a realtor. Yeah. So there's simple ideas, but I'm like, I feel like a lot of people don't do it. And I haven't always done it.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a way to grow the database. And then what are the other systems that I'm building around them, and build relationship. The other thing that's at the top of my business, this is ChatGPT's idea, which I really liked. The MREA book calls your sort of business plan, marketing, prospecting system a 36 touch, which I just hate. I'm like, how many times am I touching my people? It's always weird. And after I was like working with Chat, saying like, here are the things I enjoy, here's who I am. They're like, what you're really building is a relational flywheel. It's like, how are you building relationship and connecting with people and getting the momentum? And so this is my 2026 relational flywheel.
What's a flywheel?
I imagine it to be, like the mill, like that has water in it.
Yeah.
I'm imagining that, when there's like that's what I imagine it to be, but I could be wrong. It's a great question.
I mean, it's on your sheet. I thought maybe you would know.
I don't really know. I just felt like it's a wheel that it gets momentum when it has water.
It's a momentum wheel.
It's a momentum wheel.
Got it. I love that.
Yeah.
For you.
Thank you. Thank you.
I do. I was like, because isn't flywheel a like thing you do at the gym?
Listen, no, I don't think so. Unless there's wild things I don't know about. Let me Google what's
like
a flywheel.
An air wheel of resistance at the gym.
Flywheel. What? I think I've heard. A flywheel is a heavy rotating mechanical device that stores rotational energy or kinetic energy to smooth out power delivery in machinery, like an engine, by resisting changes in speed. It acts like a mechanical battery, absorbing excess energy during power strokes and releasing between strokes, preventing jerking and keeping the engine running smoothly, and also provides the surface for the starter motor or clutch to engage. Its key functions are energy storage, momentum and balance, starting, power transfer.
Yeah.
When an engine fires, the flywheel spins faster, storing energy.
Great.
Okay, got it.
I'm not a mechanic. That
Well-
felt very mechanical.
Well,
but I love it.
You're welcome to all the mechanics listening.
We really just scratched the mechanical itch for people.
Yeah, we did.
Okay. Well, that's great.
Those are a couple. What? Why are you looking at me like that?
Nothing.
Do you want to share one of your things, like how you're, or no?
Well,
Do you want to talk about your holiday drops?
I can just talk a little bit about it is our like touch plan, but I do like not calling it a touch plan because it does sound weird and I don't like saying it out loud.
Yeah, it feels
I'm going
gross.
to come up with I don't want to call mine a relational flywheel though. It feels very you. I'm going to come up with my own name.
Okay.
Just give me a few minutes. I'll come up with something.
I'm sure you will.
So we do every other week email. I'm trying to add video to it as much as possible. And it's anything from promoting listings, but it's not just that. Like, so there's usually some sort of listing promotion in there or buyer needs that we're looking for, like use our network to try to find people. There's usually something personal in it. So whether that's like a travel thing or a cooking thing or a house project thing that I'm doing, I share about that in there. And then something usually about the market. What are people, or like a Q&A, what are people asking me right now? What's the buzz in the world right now? What's something that my people these are mostly past clients, not all, but actually we just started sending that to every lead in our database as well.
Cool.
So they hear from us twice a month, I mean.
Yeah.
And we're always trying to figure out how to make that like more dynamic. What's things people want to hear, so just trying to figure that out. I don't want it to just be like a newsletter,
Yeah.
but how do you not make it just a newsletter? So we're trying to figure out that all the time.
I think it's really good that it's evolving. Like I'm experiencing that too. And are you on my newsletter list? I feel like you are. So you've seen it. And then I'm just kind of through this event that I went to and the videos that I'm doing online stumbled into like, well, I'll just share some things that are happening in the cities this weekend or like fun things about Minnesota. Cause I would want to get what's happening in the cities this weekend. Probably not everybody wants that.
Yeah.
But I think it comes back to like, what are the things you would enjoy reading and like your like recipes or the things you cook or the whatever. I would also enjoy, by the way, put me on your newsletter.
No.
I want your recipes.
You can't have them. You have to buy a house with me. Oh, wait, you have. You've sold several
so many houses. You owe me.
Oh, wait. You are my past client. Okay. You made the cut. Just kidding.
Yeah.
I mean, who knows? Maybe you'll use me again someday.
Maybe I probably will. Yeah. Yeah. But I think that's a good, just like a tiny little pinpoint for people to be like, it doesn't have to be perfect. Get something out. Even if you're just getting out a note from you once a month.
Yeah. I would say do something.
Yeah.
And then once you have that thing, go back and say like, how can we make it a little better?
Yeah.
And then how can we make it a little bit better? I think that if you kind of put that into place for a lot of this, like start with something.
Yep.
And over time, it's going to get better. It's going to be more polished. It's going to look more like you. It's going to be less polished, whatever feels like it's working and whatever is the most authentic to you will shift over time.
Yep.
So that's just our baseline touch. We do, I think we're going to go back to 2 parties a year, which are kind of client events, though we don't just invite clients. We invite kind of anyone that's in the client pipeline. So all of our past clients and then anybody that's like made the pipeline cut. So they've had a conversation with us about potentially working with us.
Yeah.
We also invite them to bring people.
Yeah.
So that's great. That's super fun. And then we used to do a quarterly drop. I think we just talked about this. I think we're going to do 2 drops, and a drop meaning every past client or that same list. It's also people like in the pipeline. They all get something on their front door twice a year from us. It's a little gift of some sort. So we've done everything from like, we did a 4th of July bag one year that had like a little American flag and sparklers and 2 shots of Fireball and like something about like, baby, you're a firework. Little card in it, just thanking people. We did 2 rolls of wrapping paper last year with just a little note on it. Like, we're wrapping up the year. Hopefully you are too. Just silly little somethings.
Yeah.
I think we're going to do a New Year's one this year, which we've done a couple different times. We did like little mini splits of champagne, again, like sparklers, a little Happy New Year's hat crown thing, whatever you know. Those have been really fun. And then we may even only do one drop. And then what we started doing was reverse drops. So I think I mentioned this on another episode we did, like, let us egg your yard for Easter. So people signed up. We went and put Easter eggs in their yard the night before Easter. People loved that.
Yeah.
It was so fun. We got like videos of their kids running everywhere.
So fun.
We got
it's such a
like
connection
thank you
point.
videos. It was so much fun. And then we did like a little family Easter basket for each family as well that signed up for that. So that was like my favorite.
Yeah.
So we might be adding more of those in because honestly, not that many people signed up. It was manageable.
But it's a really great communication system around it. So you're emailing them and you're texting them and do you want to sign up? So again, it's just how many times are you in communication with them around any one of these things that we're doing?
Yeah. I mean, the client events, they're probably hearing from us 6 to 8 times, depending on our strategy that
pre and post.
The Easter egging, it was probably 4 to 8 times between planning. And then we sent out like thank you to everybody who participated, you know, so that's like our baseline.
Yeah, that's good.
Of touches.
Okay. Quick note on that before you move on to more.
Go ahead.
I think it's really good for us all to think strategically. So as you were saying that, I'm like, what's a way that you can add another point of communication where, again, you get to get their contact information? So if I'm doing, because I'm just thinking out loud for myself right now, I'm going to throw a party in the spring that's like for women. I'm going to have like a color match person there that like tells you, you know, so I'm going to do, or like somebody doing massage, like hand massages and neck massages and just kind of like party, invite whoever you want. It's just a women's event, whatever. Now, if a thought just popped into my mind, because I'm like, God, if they don't all RSVP and somebody shows up, but I'd love to have their email address and their phone number. How do I get it?
Yeah.
If I have a photographer there that's like a roaming photographer taking pictures, or a little like actual spot where people can do photos with a professional photographer, then I get their email addresses to send them the photos. So what are the strategies that we can like, how can we work smarter, not harder? We're doing this huge event. We're spending money. The other idea that I had that I shared with you that's not new, but it's a subtle shift to me. Instead of having a business like a cleaner or a photographer or somebody that sponsors the event and just throws in money, can we co-host a party? So like, what does your database look like as somebody who owns a cleaning company of houses where I want to sell? Because I'm like, how do I get into this market? Okay, you work in that city, and here's what my database looks like. Is it of value to you? And how can we co-host and then actually get into each other's databases with our not two realtors working together. Like it's such a simple shift to me, but I'm like, I just have thought about how can I just have somebody help eliminate some of this cost, but there's way bigger opportunity, I think, with some of these things. So
something we did along that line was when we did the egg your yard, we let them nominate 2 neighbors.
Oh, yeah.
So if they were getting egged, they could do 2 neighbors, and we'll probably do like up to 4 this year.
Yeah.
Because it's so easy. You're already right there.
Yeah.
And I know that I got this idea from somebody else. I did not come up with it. But the person or the people that I saw that were doing it, they're not doing it to their database because you have to drive all over the place.
Yeah.
They're actually doing it to like a development.
Farm. Yeah.
And they're putting flyers up everywhere, and they're door knocking with little
you should do
flyers
that this
with a
year.
QR code
like,
that's
pick an area you want to target and just blast it and see what you get out of it. Yeah.
So then then people QR code, sign up with their name, address, email, so you can confirm.
Amazing.
And then you've got them in your database.
Yeah.
So, but we just did the nominate your neighbors, and almost everybody that signed up nominated at least one neighbor as well, because everybody has like their neighbor friend that also has kids. And we asked how many kids. We did a certain number of eggs per child, and we let them know how many and like all the different stuff. So,
well, and again, let's just say you've had one listing in this last year, like, and it's in an area that you'd like to work. You can just, how do you maximize that listing you have? You call up that client and say, I'm doing this in your neighborhood. Love to get the word out and do all the things you just said. It's like, again, I think this is why we're talking, not I think this is why, but this is part of like taking time to slow down and like put a plan together because to just pause and go, how could I make this even more effective? How could I maximize this opportunity even more? Because I know that I for sure have just like thrown a party and not really like even let people know I'm sponsoring, because I'm like, well, I don't want to be too salesy and I don't want to be too, so really actually doing it like you mean it,
Do real estate like you mean it.
Yeah, that's it.
That's the gist of this whole episode.
There's no more figuring it out. Do it like you mean it.
But I think it's like, also, what is fun for me to do? Like if you keep saying like, again, like with the stupidest thing, which is just our email that goes out. I'm like, I don't want to be like, I have to type our thing.
Yeah.
I'm like, what's fun for me to share this week? And I don't plan it far in advance. I'm like, what is literally going on right now that would be fun for me to talk about in these kind of headers? And let's share that stuff.
That's great.
And we've done some giveaways, and we've done some that people were like sending. I did a fish giveaway because I go salmon fishing because I talk about that all the time.
Yeah.
But so I did a giveaway, and I had like multiple people that I worked with over 5 years ago have never responded to one thing again. Multiple of them sent me back like pictures of them with fish.
Oh,
it was just such an interesting way that like they
people feel
saw
connected.
me and connected in a different way. So it's like, what's exciting that week for me to talk about? And I'm literally thinking of that every week, and it looks completely different every week because I'm just like, what do I want to share right now that's like giving me life and giving me energy? And I think the more that we can do that about everything, it's like, well, maybe I don't want to do the egg my yard this year the same way I did it last year. What would be like a super exciting way for me to do it?
Yeah.
Maybe we do it at a park and we invite everybody. Maybe we do, what are like new ways? So I think if you can just keep this, I feel like this business can also get kind of stale really fast, right? You can feel like you're doing the same thing over and over again. I've talked about how 2021 almost killed me because I just was turn and burn, and it was so transactional and it was not relational for me as a listing agent. And I was like, I don't know these people.
Yeah.
I'm just literally turning and burning house sales, and I hated it.
Yeah.
And I was like, if it stays like this, I don't think I can do this anymore, because I just felt like I was a transaction manager. It was the weirdest thing. So it can get stale, and it can get like, oh, this is what we do. I mean, my first team, we sent the same boring letters every single year out, and they changed a little bit. They worked, but it was super boring. It was not giving anybody life, you know? So like, if you can keep just
tweaking,
and everything doesn't have to be amazing.
No, I was just going to say,
like,
if you have things that work, do the things that work. Can you double down on what works, and then add things in that you, like you said, really bring you joy? Like, I think that's great.
Yeah.
One of the other ideas, we'll see how this goes, because I don't have neat handwriting, but I can hire people that do. So
I'm really expensive.
I know. I feel like, I'm like, this is like a you thing. I feel like this idea is better for you actually, maybe, than me, but we'll see. Tatum, my oldest daughter, just called me from college today, and she was like, Mom, I'm not making enough money to live anymore. Like, she's like, do you have work for me? And I was like, let me close this next property, and then yes. Yeah. And then I'm going to have her and her roommates do the pen pal thing. So I logged into Pinterest, and it was like 2026 trends. What are they? And I'm thinking it's fashion trends. And the first one that pops up is like pen paling. And it's kind of like luxe scrapbooking meets writing letters. And the idea is that you actually have a pen pal, and that you, like, instead of texting each other, you write in a creative, like, nice, you decorate the envelope, and then inside you stick your favorite tea bag and like your top 10 songs you're listening to right now. And it's like a fun thing to open. And so I have on my list, when I was 10 years ago, when I was selling, I sent a newsletter in the mail every month, which was really expensive to a large database. Now I'm going to do this. I have on here 3 times, but I need to like do it once and then see what the cost is and how it works, if it's feasible. But even if it's twice, if I have 2 or 3 events, and then I have 2 or 3 of these like really cute, memorable, like, oh my gosh, this took a lot of time, pen pally thing. I feel like those are the things, again, that people remember. Then I have my weekly newsletters going out, and all of that is enough, I think, for people to be like, we remember who you are and what you're doing. And it feels fun, and it feels like something nice to do that I enjoy. So I think that's most of my stuff. Oh, and then my social media stuff with the Minneapolis Edit is just the Minnesota, Twin Cities events, like kind of light news, and a quick like 0.3 second blip at the end that says DM me if you have questions about real estate. It's just like not fancy, but it's staying in front of people. So
Yeah. And our other things that we do, open houses, my buyer's agents all do open houses on all of our listings. And I will say, I think that has been a good thing for my sellers, where people are coming in without their agents, and because agents are busy agents are busy, and they don't want to bug their agent, or their agent's out of town, or like we're catching people that otherwise would wait and maybe not see it.
It also creates momentum. Like the buyers that are actually serious come in, and there's a ton of other people in the house, and they're like, let me at it,
Yeah. So, that's on our consistent plan. We all work areas of old expireds. So that's kind of our lever puller. And so this year we also kind of decided that we're all going to be on the same, like we're going to do the same activities.
Cool.
Because then as a team lead, I can be the one that's consistently saying, here's the talking point for open houses this week, and we can train on that. Here's what's happening in the market. Here's what I would talk to buyers about right now. This and there's a marketing piece that goes along with that. It's a little bit easier for us to all get better resources if we're all doing the same activities.
Yeah.
So same thing with expireds, and any other activities. But our main ones are database. We still do as part of our marketing package. I don't for listings. I don't even call it lead gen necessarily. We run ads for all of our listings, and it's a cost of sale in my budget. It's not marketing budget. It's cost of sale. Does that make sense? So it's a thing I can use to show my sellers what I'm doing to get them more exposure. It does bring us leads for long-term nourishment as well. So that's kind of a background. Those leads can take 2 to 4 years to convert. So it's definitely
long-term
background, long-term. So that's always on there as well. But that's really our 4 is database, open houses, old expired plans, and then
that's great.
And maybe, I will say both of the buyer's agents on my team have farms around where they live that they've done door knocking. They've done, one of my agents, she walks her dogs every day, and her goal is to have 2, she calls them walk and talks. She wants to talk to 2 neighbors while she's out and about, and everybody in the neighborhood knows her. And so and they know her dogs, and she's got a little farm stand on her corner where she shares fruits and vegetables. And this year other people started dropping things. So they would come and take stuff, and then they'd leave stuff with a little note, like we had extra squash. And so it became this community point.
One thing you said a little while ago, it might have even been up to a year ago or something, I don't know, but talking about how you started getting more explicit with people in saying it's a tough market right now, and your referrals mean a lot to me. And so I'm thinking about the agent on your team who is walking and talking. I don't know, because I have never asked, but again, to maximizing the opportunity, has she ever explicitly said, hey, I might not have mentioned I'm a realtor, and if you or anybody you know is thinking of selling, it's a pretty tight market right now. Referrals mean the world to me, and here's what we're doing, or you're invited to this event, or you know,
she definitely
does that.
Yeah.
Oh, that's good. Okay, yeah.
And I think my sister on my team through transactions is really good about talking to that. They're talking to clients about that. So we start having that conversation at the first appointment.
Yeah.
And then it's 4 more times throughout the transaction.
That's great.
Because people are excited at different times. So you just cleared inspection, you're officially pending.
Yeah.
That's a time, you can share that with everybody.
Yeah.
You are pending. We just need to get through the paperwork part of it now,
Yeah.
And so reminding them at that time.
Yeah.
Just a reminder, when you're sharing, if you hear of anybody that needs help with real estate, we'd love to have that conversation with them.
Because if people are like me, I'm not thinking about that. I'm thinking about packing my boxes and changing over my utilities, and I'm super grateful to my realtor, but I'm not thinking who else needs a real estate agent right now.
Yeah.
And if somebody were to say, hey, can you think of anybody? And I was happy with the way the transaction was going, I'd be so happy to take a minute to think about it.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's great. Okay. Anything else on this?
I don't think so. Oh, I was going to tell you my story.
Oh, we love stories.
So this is really cute. It's about when we did drops last December. Everybody has a ring cam now.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And so a lot of people were
stick your nose out there.
A lot of people were texting some random lady just dropped something off. Was that from you guys? Or
yeah.
Or they'd get home and they'd say oh, we saw it, but we didn't know it was you guys or whatever. And I'm oh, we're under the cover of night. We don't let you know we're coming. Yeah. It's a surprise. I had clients that were oh my gosh. That was literally the text they sent. And they were your poor agent on your team
Oh no.
They live out kind of not in the middle of nowhere, but like 45 minutes outside of the downtowns. On like acreage. They have a lot of outdoor cats. And one of their cats got on top of my agent's SUV, like in the middle of, like climbed up onto the roof while she's going to the door and dropping wrapping paper, laid down and like was just like, I live here now, on top of her car. So they have it all on their ring cam of her, like, she can't reach the cat because it's like in the middle of her SUV roof. And she's like trying to like, I think she took like wrapping paper and was trying to like push the cat. And the cat's just like, you know, like just leaning in and like, I'm not leaving. So they were dying and they sent me the video. And I think every time I've seen them twice since then.
You definitely need to put this on social media, by the way.
Like, they legit like pull it up and be like, oh my gosh, this is still one of our favorite videos. Cause she's just like, and she's probably in heels, like not appropriately dressed for running around in the wintertime doing drops. Cause this was last December. Yeah. And yeah, so that's one of my favorite.
Funny.
And we've had other people be like, what, like, did somebody from your team come by? And I'm like, yeah. So ring
so
cams,
good.
do be aware that everybody's watching you at all times. And that if a cat climbs on your roof, be careful how you're treating
Bring
that
a
cat.
rake and be nice.
Wow. Not a cat person, I guess, Jen.
I didn't say kill the cat. You need a tool to prompt it.
Get the cat off the roof. Yeah, I think she was there. And it was really funny because my agent also texted me and said, oh my gosh, I was just at this house for like 10 minutes. I couldn't get this cat off my roof. I didn't know what to do. And no one was home, but she was like,
so
it was
funny.
very embarrassing.
I feel like that needs to go in the email this year to do that. Oh, you don't, this is not a reverse drop. Anyways, that's great content.
I'm going to have to see if I can procure that. I don't have the video anymore.
I bet
so
you could. Okay, well, that's all then, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, get excited.
Get happy.
Lean into your joy.
Yeah.
And I would also say, go back right now and identify your favorite humans in your database and like do something special for them right now. You know, it's the holidays. I always feel like I have a running list of like 10 to 30 people in my database that are just like, they're huge referrers. I've worked with them a ton of times. I just like adore them. And I'm thinking of one person popped in immediately to my head that now he's probably done 7 transactions with me.
Wow.
I haven't talked to him in probably 9 months because he hasn't needed anything. Yeah. And he's getting my emails and stuff, but I have not personally had a conversation with him. And I'm like, oh my gosh. So
it's time.
Identify your people and lean in a little bit extra with those people. That's when this becomes fun also, you know?
And I'm just thinking about the clients that I had that closed like a couple in the summer, a couple early fall. And I reached out around Thanksgiving, not as part of a touch system. They just literally were on my mind. And one of them was going through cancer treatment and one, you know, they had stuff going on and it just felt natural to send them a message and say, hey, you've been on my mind. It's holiday season. I hope you're getting some time in with family and nothing else. I'm not genuinely not always just looking for them to give me more. But again, if we're trying to build relationship, why not actually just like show that we care about people?
Yeah. Yeah. And that's why I said, like, go back and find your people.
You find your people.
Know, because
and it feels good to give like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's for me when it's fun. Cause you do have people that you work with that it's like, this was just us doing a transaction. We're not super tight, but like I have people that I've worked with over the people with the cat in the car.
Yeah.
I think I've done 9 transactions with them.
That's wild. Yeah.
And I met her on a Craigslist ad in like 2012.
Isn't that crazy? Yeah. Yeah.
But they're my people, you know, like we love seeing each other and talking and catching up and whatever. So it's, you know,
let's
find those people and do a little something special for them.
Give a little love.
That's my final.
Okay, it was a good final closing note.
That's
all then for this week's episode of Real Estate Done Rightish. Until next time, cheers to doing it rightish.
How fast?
You decide. We don't want it slow, but we don't want it like. I mean, it could be really fast.
I don't know how fast I can do it. We'll try. I'll just do it as fast as it feels. Okay. The information, opinions, and recommendations presented in this podcast are for general knowledge and informational purposes only and do not constitute professional, legal, or financial advice. As licensed real estate agents in the state of Minnesota, we are not attorneys, financial advisors, or tax professionals, and we cannot provide advice in those areas or in regards to any agency or broker-specific topics in any other state. Any reliance you place on the information provided in this podcast is strictly at your own risk. We strongly encourage you to consult with qualified professionals for specific guidance related to your individual circumstances.